Hey there, welcome to the channel. Greetings from Koh Samui. In this video, I want to make an update on the air pollution quality levels here in Thailand. So I've got the iqair website pulled up here. And as you can see up in Bangkok, it's still unhealthy levels of pollution. You can also see all of these fires burning all over the place as well. That's mostly from crop burning, not only in Thailand, but also over here in Cambodia as well, and also Vietnam to a certain extent, but I would say Cambodia is one of the worst offenders. So this is a serious issue in Southeast Asia. I love living in Thailand, but the pollution levels are usually leave a lot to be desired, right? Luckily, down here in Samui, we've got much better air quality throughout the entire year. And as you can see, there's not quite as many fires burning down here. In fact, I don't really see any fires burning in the south so much. So yeah, it's not so bad in Samui, but up in Bangkok and then also up in Chiang Mai in the north, especially around this time of the year, the air pollution is really bad. In fact, Chiang Mai becomes one of the worst polluted cities in the entire world between the months of about January to April. So if you're looking to visit Chiang Mai, I wouldn't recommend coming during burning season. It gets very unhealthy to hazardous levels of pollution up here. But a lot of people just come down to the islands and they enjoy much better air quality down here. I wanted to go through a comprehensive guide to the air pollution in Thailand. This was written in January 9th last year. So it's a little bit out of date, but this is a great article. And I've basically just gone through and highlighted a lot of the key points throughout the article. So we're just going to be going through this in this video. You can check the link in the description below to read through the entire article on your own. But yeah, we'll go through this. So Bangkok and Thailand as a whole have made the news almost every day for their harmful and at many times dangerous levels of air pollution. While Bangkok doesn't get the worst of the pollution, that tends to impact northern cities such as Chiang Mai. Air pollution is a big issue nationwide. So this guy, he's been living in Seoul, South Korea for many years. And he started this website, Breathe Safe Air, to just kind of document what the pollution levels are like around the world. And his goal with this article is just to give you knowledge that will adequately prepare for your time in Thailand. Knowing what to expect and how to deal with the air pollution in Thailand makes it possible to protect your health and make the most of your time there. With that said, let's get started. So we're just going to read through this article. It's quite informative. So according to health authorities in the country, more than 1.3 million people have already suffered from air pollution-related diseases in 2023. And there's another article over here as well. It says pollution is the largest environmental cause of disease and premature death in the world today. It's often just kind of undercover. People don't really think about it as a long-term health detriment. But the diseases caused by pollution were responsible for an estimated 9 million premature deaths in 2015, 16% of all deaths worldwide, 3 times more deaths than AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria combined, and 15 times more than from all the wars and other forms of violence. And there's his source right there, the Lancet Commission on Pollution and Health. And you can see, if we scroll through this article, some of the health symptoms. So irritated eyes, nose, and throat, which I've actually felt occasionally here in Samui just driving around. It's good to wear a mask if you want to protect your lungs and that sort of thing. But generally speaking, air pollution is not quite as bad down here, so I don't worry about it too much. But you can get worsening asthma and lung diseases such as chronic bronchitis, heart attacks and arrhythmias in people with heart disease. Luckily, it's not something I have to worry about. And then also increases in hospital admission and premature death due to diseases of the respiratory and cardiovascular systems. So not something to be taken lightly. If you're coming over here to Thailand, you want to make sure to protect your health. Chiang Mai, a prominent city in northern Thailand, made the news earlier this month for having the worst air quality in the world, like I cited earlier, as mentioned by iqair. While Bangkok's air quality wasn't as bad, much of the air pollution in the north comes from field burning. It was still far from healthy. In Chiang Mai, the northernmost major city in Thailand, the air quality exceeded the WHO guidelines by 125 times, an almost unbelievable amount. So that's 125 times more than the suggested air pollution by the World Health Organization. And the State of Global Air reported that in 2019, over 32,000 deaths in Thailand were attributable to ambient particulate matter, PM2.5. While more recent data is yet to be released, the trend is upward, and it's very likely that in 2023, even more deaths will be attributed to air pollution. So I'm not exactly sure how they measure this, but they have a website here called the State of Global Air. So we can take a look at this. And I just put in ambient particulate matter pollution in Thailand. As you can see, this is on the rise. So 2021, it looks like, is the latest data, 53,000 deaths in a single year. And interestingly, if I type in the United States here, which overall has very, very good air quality levels throughout the year, you can see this is on the downward trend, but it used to be really bad back in the 90s. So 135,000 a single year. Keep in mind, the U.S. has a much larger population and larger land mass, but it looks like, it's on the downward trend. But still, 50,000 people in the U.S. in 2021 died of air pollution. So that's right around the same amount as Thailand's seeing right now, 53,000. But this is on the upward trend, so it's just continuing to go up. Luckily, there's been some Clean Air Acts that have been passed or will be passed soon, allegedly, which we'll get to a little bit later in the article. And the health impacts of air pollution cost the country an estimated $95 billion, which is 6.6% of the country's GDP. And that's mostly due to the tourism, right? So Thailand is very dependent on tourism. And unfortunately, if tourists are seeing really, really bad air quality over here, they may be less likely to visit Thailand. So they're losing money in GDP, $95 billion. Air pollution in Thailand has decreased the average life expectancy by 2 full years, which is quite alarming. In Bangkok, the risk of premature death was calculated to be 13% higher due to the air pollution alone, which is also a very alarming statistic. Luckily, I don't live in Bangkok, and this is one of the reasons why I choose not to live in the city, is because of the terrible air pollution throughout the year. It's much better here on the island. While the issue is often highlighted in cities such as Chiang Mai and Bangkok, it impacts the entire country. The annual average PM2.5 concentration should not exceed 10, micrograms per cubic meter, according to the WHO guidelines. Thailand's nationwide average surpassed this and reached more than 6 times the recommendation. And here's some information about what causes air pollution in Thailand. As I've already cited, I would say the main contributing factor is all of the crop burning. As you can see from the map over here, we can scroll up and you can see all of the fires all over the place. They're just burning like wildfires, quite literally. So there's fires all over. And then also Cambodia is contributing to the problem as well as Myanmar. So Myanmar, I believe, is up here, and Laos too. With neighboring countries such as Myanmar and Laos being primarily agricultural based and regularly using slash and burn farming, particulate matter can easily cross borders and become a regional issue. While the 3 governments are working together to tackle the problem, no major actions have been taken yet. Keep in mind, this was written in January of 2023. I think recently they've started announcing some new actions like clean air committees in Thailand. They seem to be taking some action on the issue. 72% of the city's air pollution in Bangkok was from combustion engines in 2022. So a lot of these cars and trucks need to be upgraded in Bangkok. They're causing a lot of pollution in the city. And you can see this a lot of times just driving around. There's, cars pumping out all sorts of pollution from their tailpipes. On the other hand, in Chiang Mai, the most significant pollution source is field burning, as I've already cited. And they have an article here as well, which I'm not going to go through right now, but you can see from this picture, this is crop burning somewhere up in the north near Chiang Mai, and compounded over time. The more this is happening all the time, it's just going to cause worse and worse pollution throughout the country. While this field burning causes the extreme pollution levels that earned Chiang Mai the title of the world's most polluted city, only from about January to April, not year-round, it doesn't account for much of the pollution seen in the capital, as only around 5% of the pollution in Bangkok is attributed to field burning. While there are other contributing factors to air pollution in North Thailand, the majority is from crop burning. This is a big issue in Thailand because burning is often the cheapest and most effective way to clear fields for future crops. So keep in mind, a lot of these farmers, they're quite destitute. They're just, trying to make ends meet, and the cheapest way to basically harvest the crops or, cross cut them or whatever is to burn them. And this is typically sugarcane crops. They're burning all these sugarcane crops, which is causing the pollution, but they don't really think about the long-term impact or health hazards from all of the burning that's going on. It's just compounding over time. And it seems to be getting worse every year, unfortunately, until the government will pass some sort of legislation to ban this sort of burning, right? Although it's still often overlooked, air pollution is very dangerous and should always be considered, especially if you're traveling to or living in a country where the pollution is common, such as Thailand. Air pollution directly leads to at least 7 million deaths globally per year, and it has also been found to decrease the life expectancy in Thailand by around 2 years, as I cited earlier, and it can damage every organ in the human body. So yeah, definitely not something to be taken lightly. I'm thinking about buying an air purifier for my house just to kind of keep the air clean in here if we have the windows open. So yeah, we could go on and on about the mental side effects and the physical side effects of air pollution, but I think I'm going to skip over some of this. And this part is on the seasonality of air pollution. So this isn't all year long. It typically happens during certain months of the year, and it's going to depend on where you're living in the Kingdom of Thailand as well. So it's very seasonal. This is especially true in the country's northern regions, where crop burning usually occurs between December to April. So that's what's known as burning season up in the north. And that mostly affects Chiang Mai. So you can see a picture here of Chiang Mai, and that you can barely see anything because of all the pollution. And then also Chiang Mai and areas of Isan up in the north as well, I would assume. The months of May to September tend to have significantly better air quality, with the peak of summer, June and July, having significantly cleaner air than any other month. This trend doesn't apply solely to the capital, but can also be seen in the country's northern areas, including Chiang Mai. If you're planning a trip to Thailand, so that's for people that are watching this and they want to come over here and are worried about air pollution, visiting during the summer, if possible, is advisable. If this isn't an option, try your best to avoid January to April. Okay, so now we can get to the positives. While the story may seem bleak, there is some good news. Due to the transboundary nature of air pollution, the governments of Thailand, Myanmar, and Laos met just last month. So this was in 2024, to attempt to tackle the problem. All three countries use slash and burn farming, significantly contributing to air pollution nationwide, especially in the north. Not only this, but the air pollution emitted from Thailand also crosses boundaries into neighboring countries. I've already mentioned that earlier. Thailand has a strong incentive to improve the air quality by whatever means possible. Despite being a high season for tourism in the country, hotels in Chiang Mai during April had only 45% occupancy, down from the usual 80%. Since tourism is such a large part of the Thai economy, there's a strong incentive to improve air quality. So, obviously tourism is a big part of the GDP over here. And if we're seeing much lower occupancy rates at hotels during the burning seasons in Chiang Mai, that's a pretty good indicator that people don't want to visit Chiang Mai during this time. And that's affecting the economy, the overall GDP. Now, keep in mind, we're still going to be getting, 30 million, 40 million tourists coming in every year. But there's ways to actually improve that even further by improving the air quality. In 2019, Thailand and the Climate and Clean Air Coalition began an initiative which was in part designed to tackle air pollution. Part of this initiative was to assess the pollutants emitted from different sources and calculate their impact on health and climate change. But that was back in 2019, and it seems to be getting worse every year. That was, 6 years ago now? So there doesn't seem to be much action being taken. Perhaps the most importantly, the Royal Thai government has prioritized air pollution. It has a 6-year plan, so 2019 up until present day 2025, for addressing particulate pollution. While the plan is well drafted, experts have said there need to be new laws, like a Clean Air Act or something similar that we have in the US. There need to be new laws and new law enforcement to tackle issues as complicated as air pollution. So, for example, maybe fining people if they are caught burning their crops. This is something that the government has proposed, but I'm not really sure if they're doing anything about it yet. Overall, Thailand has laid a good foundation for tackling air pollution. The government and local organizations are aware of how severe the issue is, as they should be, and they have created plans to help improve the air quality nationwide. While only time will tell if these plans are implemented and carried out effectively, the first step is much stronger than in many other countries. I'm actually going to be going to Vietnam in March, so I was just curious what the pollution levels look like in Hanoi. And unfortunately, also in Hanoi, very unhealthy levels of air pollution. And if I type in Da Nang, it's much better. So that's really, really good. And then Hanoi is really bad. And then I'm also going to be up in Haijiang as well. So the Haijiang area up in the north is looking a bit better. So yeah. But yeah, Vietnam still suffers from the same pollution as well. It's pretty much all over Southeast Asia, unfortunately. So, if you're planning on retiring over here in Thailand and you're worried about your health, it, may be worth reconsidering. Although I still love living in Thailand. I would say one of the biggest factors, the negative factors, is the air pollution. Thailand has an extensive range of air quality monitors located nationwide. Many of these monitors are measured by government organizations such as the Thailand Pollution Control Department and the Air and Noise Quality Management Division in Bangkok. Those are the air quality monitors that we're looking at on iqair. And you can also buy these air quality monitors that you can basically just place outdoors or inside. And those range in price. But yeah, you can check out those in the article as well. And then he talks a little bit more about the different masks that you can buy if you have asthma or allergies or something. You might want to consider wearing a mask, unfortunately. The most important step to avoid the worst consequence of air pollution is to be always aware of the air quality. While this can seem troublesome, no one wants to check yet another app. But I've just installed iqair on my phone, and it will actually notify me when the air pollution levels are, really unhealthy. And basically, as soon as I bring up the home screen, I can see the air quality right away. Just kind of something nice to have on my phone. Thailand's an amazing country, and I highly recommend coming here and even living here full time. The pollution is getting to be a bit of a serious issue, but it shouldn't be the ultimate deciding factor when you plan to visit. Obviously, I think that goes without saying. There's downsides of visiting, but be prepared. Download the app. Just wear a mask if you want to protect your health, especially if you're in the cities. And that's all I have for this particular video. Hopefully you've enjoyed going through this article. And again, there's a link in the description below. You can check it out on your own. I'm using a Chrome extension to highlight the key points in these articles. So I'll definitely be making more videos like this coming soon on the channel. Hopefully you found this valuable, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer them to the best of my abilities. And with that being said, take care, stay safe. Peace from Thailand. Till next one. Signing off.